about them all the time. Everyone knows about them. There's also both sides of the ball. Let's talk about CJ Stroud. And Teddy, what you saw from him in particular last week and what that might mean for the game today.
Well, CJ struggled a little bit at times. Looked a little confused actually when he was playing. So the New England Patriot defense majors in that. Defensive coordinator Zach Kerr that stepped in for Terrell Williams, who Terrell Williams had to leave earlier this season because of health-related issues. Terrell, I hear you're doing well. You keep getting better, buddy. We'll keep praying for you, okay? But Zach Kerr, defensive coordinator, has been doing a great job. Robert Spillane talked earlier this week how confusing the Chargers actually thought this defense was.
After the game, talking to a few of the guys on their team, they had no clue what we were doing, and they came up and said that. We have no clue what you guys were in all game.
Yeah, Robert Spillane, one of our favorites, Moss, for a long time, right? Let's see what he's talking about here. Well, look at all the communications from the defensive backs. They're constantly moving up and down, moving from safeties off to safeties down. You got a cover zero look coming up right here. And then if we rotate this just a little bit, they're showing a 7 rusher look. That's what Herbert's looking at here. But then what this turns into is just a 4 rusher look here. But look at these 3 droppers. I can't even tell you what this is, fellas, because they're dropping to the same area. So good luck deciphering this Houston Texans defense. You got offensive linemen thinking to themselves, what the heck is going on? Ellis a good player. They're all over the place. All I'm saying is Zach Kerr, he's got them doing things that organically they feel like they have ownership of it all. I'm going to move everywhere because you can't really coach stuff like that, Rex, because this sort of defense feels very comfortable with this system.
Yeah, absolutely. And what you do is you give that freedom. All right, Vrabel and company are giving the freedom to their players, and now they know that system so well. They know the time. They know when that ball's going to be snapped, and especially playing at home with it loud and everything else, the communication is critical for that offense, and that's why I think it's going to be it's going to be brutal. They got to stay ahead of the stick, so this defense will light them up. Not just Houston's, but New England's. This is the 3rd-rated defense in the National Football League, and I'm going to tell you, there's a player, Milton Williams, that they signed in the offseason. To me, was one of the biggest acquisitions in the National Football League, and we know they lead the league in defense and stopping a run when he's out there. And so to me, watch him push in the pocket. Absolutely great coordination by Mike Vrabel.
And that defensive confusion is going to have an effect on the opposing quarterback. CJ Stroud, listen, something that reared its head last week for this Texans offense were these gun snaps, right? 5 times we saw gun snaps on the ground. And something that doesn't get talked a lot about from the gun position when you're on the road and there's crowd noise and you're going silent is the quarterback's vision, right? You got to understand when you're at home, you got cadence and you call for the ball set, you know exactly when it's coming. You can watch CJ Stroud, right? It's silent cadence. He's watching the defense. He's trying to gather information. He just lifted his leg. That's like lighting a fuse, right? All of a sudden, the guard's tapping the center, the head's bobbing. He's still trying to gather information. He's trying to time up his eyes when the snap's coming, and then bam, get my eyes back up on the defense, right? Because I got to know what's happening. All of a sudden, the ball's on the ground. We saw it 5 times. You mentioned that Patriot defense, all the different unorthodox things they do. It's going to be there again today because, again, as a quarterback, you're taking information, motion's coming, you're trying to see what they're doing. You've lifted your leg, right? And again, that is a fuse has been lit. The left guard's looking back. He taps the center. He does the head bob. But it gives you anxiety as a quarterback to stare down and be waiting for the snap and not knowing what the defense is doing, right? We'll see if they get it figured out today, because you can't have these negative plays against this defense.
And then, Randy, to make matters worse, they go without their best receiver. Nico Collins, not available for the Texans. He's hurt, and so obviously a lot of things working against them on that side of the ball.
You know, when you talk about last week's game and Nico Collins going out, it was like, well, where was the production going to come from? You have 2 nice big wide receivers on the outsides with Higgins and Hutchinson, but they have a guy to work the middle. I'm talking about Christian Kirk. What he was able to do last week, being able to put up his numbers, 8 catches for 144 yards and getting in the box 1 time. One thing that I think for me the question I had was bringing a dome team out of the dome in these cold environments last week in Pittsburgh. Well, it's going to be similar out there this evening, so I just think that everybody thinking that the Patriots defense is just going to walk all over this Houston Texans offense. But last week, after the performance in the middle by Christian Kirk, I still think they have some offensive weapons and they can still put points on the board.
Question is, if it's a low-scoring game, maybe both teams are in it. A high-scoring game does not seem extremely likely, particularly
I'd still like
with
to see a little more snow.
Linebacker coaches. It's coming. The snow is definitely coming. And today's the 3rd meeting, by the way, as head coaches between linebackers Mike Vrabel and D'Amico Ryans. They met twice as players. Their second match matchup in 2010. Vrabel was a Chief. He caught this 2-yard touchdown against Ryan's Texans. It was the 12th and final touchdown catch of Vrabel's career. He has the greatest statistic maybe in NFL history. In his career, he had 12 receptions for 12 touchdowns.
He was always politicking for touchdowns down there. He was always doing that.
The one thing about it, when I became a Patriot, they used to put the goal line package in. And I said, he used to point at me, you out. And I had to look at the statistics to see, how many catches, how many touchdowns. So it really made sense. So I had to move out the way.
12 for 12. That's a ratio even Randy Moss can't argue with. There's Drake Maye. He is on his way in Foxborough as the Patriots and Texans work their way towards kickoff, and we do too. Fans here are fired up for You Got Mossed. We've got a very special edition of that feature coming your way today. Randy has saved the best for last. The best catches of the entire season are on the way, and our Monday crew is with us through the entire show. We are here inside. We are outside. RC is here.
Swag
is here. Jason Kelsey is here. Then Pat leading the charge. We're back in Foxborough in just a moment.
Drive. At the end of September, the Texans were 0-3 and the Patriots were sitting at 2-2. But since then, both teams have caught fire. Only 3 combined losses. And today they meet for a spot in the AFC title game. Drake Maye meeting his stiffest challenge, a Texans defense which destroyed Aaron Rodgers. And if CJ Stroud can bounce back from his 3-turnover effort in Pittsburgh, the Pats better hope for more of that defensive muscle they flexed against Justin Herbert. Dan Graziano has more.
The Houston Texans have been knocked out of the playoffs in this round each of the last 2 years. CJ Stroud, of course, well aware of that. He chose this week to focus more on the positive things he did Monday night. He was 8 for 12 throwing the ball on 3rd down, made some big throws even as he turned the ball over way too much. He feels like the playoff experience from the last couple years is what he needs to help him get over the hump and win in this round. And Drake Maye relayed a story this week about a team meeting in which Mike Vrabel asked everybody in the room who was still practicing this time last year, and only 2 hands went up. Milton Williams, who was on the Eagles, Carlton Davis, who was on the Lions. So Maye says Vrabel's really been drilling this week how unique and special this opportunity is and how focused they all need to be.
SportsCenter on the Road is presented by Geico. It feels good to Geico.
There were tense moments on Wild Card Weekend when it looked like both the Bears and Rams were headed for vacation and not the division. After thrilling wins, we are here with today's winner moving on to the NFC title game to face Seattle. Today may come down to Chicago's defense. They're 9-0 when that unit generates multiple takeaways versus LA's high-powered offense led by potential MVP Matthew Stafford. 2 reports on this one, beginning with Jeff Darlington covering the Rams.
Well, when Rams head coach Sean McVay meets with his team this afternoon at the team hotel, he told me his message will be simple: come out swinging. McVay wants no excuses when it comes to the cold. He wants full energy for 60 minutes. He wants to set the tempo and maintain the tempo. And maintaining the tempo is perhaps the area that the Rams know will be most critical to a win today. The Rams have suffered some defeats this season when late-game collapses actually cost them the #1 seed in the NFC. It has them now traveling here to Chicago to play on the frigid road. But McVay says his team is ready. They have the scars that have strengthened them, and he says nothing, not even the cold of the road, is going to create any excuses for letting off the pedal in this pivotal divisional playoff game.
Bears safety Kevin Byard told me, quote, "The Rams are the toughest offense we're going to face all year." And he said, Matt Stafford is playing the best of any quarterback in the league right now. So not only do the Rams have Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua, but they run more 13 personnel, 3 tight end sets than anyone. And Byard said that creates so many matchup issues for defenses. So what's the strategy for stopping the NFL's #1 offense? Try to make them as one-dimensional as possible, Byard told me, and force Stafford to throw the ball 40 or 50 times. That way, he said, we'll have more opportunities to get takeaways. Now, Chicago doesn't want to get into a shootout late with the Rams, but the Cardiac Bears like their chances if they do. Running back Kyle Monangai told me this is going to be a heavyweight matchup for sure. But I think we'll outlast them because we've done this time and time again, and we don't expect anything different.
Wow, 50 throws for Matthew Stafford.
That's a lot in the corner, by the way.
Okay, time for the final word with our coach, Herm Edwards. What's it going to be today?
It's going to be stars.
Stars.
Because when you think about it, all these teams have great individual players. And the stars, and we're going to talk about the quarterbacks, but at the end of the day, think of it this way.
Right.
The stars are telling all these young guys, look, if we win 2 games, we play in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Okay, who wins Rams-Bears? We never got a pick from you on that one.
Oh, boy.
Real quick.
Matthew Stafford.
Okay.
I'm going with Stafford. I'm going with Stafford.
Matthew Stafford.
I'm going with Stafford.
Postseason NFL Countdown live from Foxborough next.